Excerpts from Zhuang Zi, translated by Claire Wang Lee, Wan, Kunun. Secret of living. Life is limited. Knowledge is limitless. If one uses what is limited to pursue the limitless, it is dangerous. If one knows this and still goes after knowledge, then he is in danger for certain. If one does good, he should stay away from fame. If one does evil, he should stay away from punishments. Follow the means and what is constant, so one can protect himself and be alive, so he can look after his parents and live out his years. Cook Ting was cutting up an ox for Lord Wen Hui. At every touch of his hand, every lean-on of his shoulder, the stepping of his feet, the heave of his knee, he slithered the knife along in and out in perfect rhythm, as if he was performing the dance of the mulberry grove or in step with the Qing show music. "This is amazing," said Lord Wen Hui. "Skill can reach such heights." Cook Ting put down his knife and said, "What I like is the way that goes behind the skill. When I first began to cut up an ox, all I could see was the ox. After 3 years, I no longer saw the whole ox. Now I see it by the spirit and don't even look at it by the eyes. Perception has come to a standstill, and the spirit moves wherever it wants. I slither in and out of the empty spaces between the sinews, not touching even the tiniest ligament or tendon, to say nothing of a major joint. A great cook changes his knife once a year because he cuts. A common cook changes his knife once a month because he hacks. I've had my knife for 19 years, and I've cut up thousands of oxen with it, yet my knife is as sharp as though it had come from the grindstone. There are vacant spots between the sinews, and my blade has no thickness. With no thickness going through the empty spaces, there is more than enough space to move around, so my knife of 19 years is as good as new. Still, when I come to a difficult spot, I look over the situation. I tell myself to be cautious, keep my eyes on what I'm doing, work steadfastly, move the knife with the greatest subtlety until, pop! The whole thing comes apart like a lump of earth, crumbling to the ground. I hold my knife and look around, completely satisfied and not in a hurry to move on. Then I wipe off my knife and put it away. "Wonderful," said Lord Wen Hui. "I've heard the words of Cook Ting and have learned the way of life." External things. Zhuang Zi's family was very poor, so he went to borrow some grain from the Marquise of Jianhe. The Marquise said, "Of course, I'll soon get rental money from my fief, and then I'll lend you 300 pieces of gold. Is that all right?" Zhuang Zi became angry and said, "As I was coming here yesterday, I heard someone calling my name. I turned around and saw a carp in the carriage rut. I asked it, 'Come, carp, what are you doing here?' The carp said, 'I'm a wave official of the Eastern Sea. Can you give me a dipful of water to keep me alive?' I said, 'Of course. I'm going south to visit the king of Wu and Yue. I'll change the course of the West River and send it your way. Is that all right?' The carp became angry and said, 'I've lost my element. I have nowhere to go. If you can give me a dipful of water, I'll survive. If you give me an answer like that, you'd better look for me in the dried fish market.'